Hey guys, Mo Muller here. I run an agency called NicheWebsiteManagement.com where we help clients with starter sites all the way up to those with over $1 million in valuation. And in these free videos, I'm going to help you build, scale, and grow your websites so you can make more money in less time. Let's get into today's video. So today's video is a really exciting one. I'm going to be sharing with you the project management tools that I use, and specifically one project management tool that I use that I've used to scale my small portfolio to be worth over $500,000 and my client's portfolio to be worth over $1 million in valuation. So as you can imagine, there are some really smart and intricate details into the project management of doing all this. And I'm going to share with you the exact tools and systems and all the files that I use to do this. So stay with me to the end. I'm sure you're going to get value from this video. Let's get started. So we are in the project management tool that I use for all of my sites and also my client sites. It's a project management tool called Trello. Now, there are a few project management tools that you can use. There's one called Monday. There are a few others that I've used in the past. But this is the one that I just decided to use the most. It's probably one of the easiest that I've found to use. And it does everything that I need it to do, to be honest. So we are inside a master client template that I have right here. And whenever I pick up a website, this is what I use. So I essentially buy the website, I've done all the due diligence, I've taken the plunge, and it's been purchased. So from this point onwards, I plug the website in it, whatever niche it's in, into my growth template essentially. And I figure out how am I going to grow the site. I probably would have figured out specifically how I was going to do it before, but now I'm actually putting that into data, into spreadsheets. I've got all the information for the site. It's hosted by me now, so I have more tangible information. So from that point onwards, I'm going to plug it into my growth strategy, and then I'm going to use these templates and these tools to start to grow the website and start to manage it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a progress calendar. Okay, so if you haven't got some type of calendar where you're tracking progress every single month, then you probably need to start doing that. So this allows me to literally click into the card of the whatever month that I'm looking to start, or next month, and track what we're doing. So first off, I'm trying to figure out what the current tasks are. So I'm going to list week by week, sometimes even bi-weekly, all the tasks that we are using to grow and manage the site. And then I'm going to have, obviously from once that's completed, I'm going to add another card in. It's going to say month 2. And I'm going to give a projection of what we're looking to achieve in the next 4 weeks. So I have it in a kind of an 8-week template. So the first 4 weeks are going to be mapped out to what we're doing now. And then month 2 is obviously going to be what we're looking to do moving forward. So within for the first 4 weeks and the latter 4 weeks, we have lots of to-do lists to be completed. And this is just a summary that I use so I can quickly check it from the outset. Now, I usually have a master sheet. Okay, so the master sheet is going to look something like this. And I'm going to track and probably have in more detail specifics of what I'm doing on a week by week basis. So this one is for a client site. If someone's just kind of coming in as a client, I'm going to give them access to this document, and we are probably going to tailor make it specifically for their site, but it's going to look something like this. So we're going to have month 1, month 2, month 3, and then we're going to have all of the intricate details of what we're doing on a week by week basis. So for example, for this client, for the first 2 weeks in month 1, we're doing keyword research. So we're doing competitor analysis. We're checking their current keywords. We're checking to see which ones we think we need to add. We're going into their competition, seeing any content gaps. We're updating all of that information in Trello. Week 3 and week 4, we're doing site audits. So we're making sure that the page and the website isn't broken. If there are any issues with redirect chains, non-index pages, slow pages, issues with the meta descriptions, etc. So those are kind of the specifics that we do for that week. And then I add that to the summary essentially in the card. This keeps me and all my clients very aware with what we're doing on a week by week basis, and it also makes everyone accountable and trackable for what they were supposed to do and projected into the future what they're supposed to be doing moving forward. So again, I'll definitely recommend that. If it doesn't have to be as detailed as this, but it needs to be some type of tracking on a high level and on a low level what you're doing on a month by month basis. So that's the first step. The second step is if I'm setting up a new website, these are all of the kind of plugins that I'm looking to add. It changes depending on the website, but I just need some type of sheet that I can see, okay, these are all the plugins that I need to use, and I can add those in like a really quick way. Any information that I have around Amazon tracking, I'm going to put in here. Potentially any other affiliate trackings or logins, you want to have all that in one place instead of probably going into emails and checking this and not too sure if the login works, etc. If you've got other affiliate programs, just have it all in one place. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check out what type of link building we need to do. So I'm going to check the current link profile on the site I purchased or client site that I'm operating. And I'm going to say, okay, what links do we need to build? So I'm going to check and implement these 5 type of links onto my site or my client site. I'm going to figure out specifically which ones they have more of, which ones they have less of, which ones will have the most impact moving forward, if we're planning it over 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, etc. And just have a link strategy moving forward. That's super important. Obviously, some people don't have to have a backlink calendar because they build links naturally. But I think just as a strategic point, you need to understand if you need to build links, and this kind of part of Trello helps me to do that. Next, actually, before I go into that point, so in terms of the link building, we also have a master sheet. So again, this is the small summary part of Trello, and then I have anything that I need to add is into a master sheet. So if we are building links and while we start to build them, I'm going to have just a link tracker. Essentially gives me the websites where we built the link from, the DR, the traffic that the website has, whether it's live or not, the anchor text of that particular link that we built, the website URL in terms of the URL the link is pointing to, and also the placement URL. So where the links come from. I think tracking links is very important, especially if you're spending money to obtain those links, whether that's going out and doing guest posts, potentially niche edits, or however you decide to obtain your links. You need to track that information, right? And next, I have a on-site SOP, so standard operating procedure. So this is the checklist that I use when I am looking to improve on-page SEO. So again, some people can have it way more detailed than this. This works for me, my personal portfolio and also my client's portfolio. And what I'm trying to achieve is find the pages that we need to improve in terms of on-page SEO. And then what are we doing specifically for those pages? So this checklist will be included on every single page we are doing on-page SEO for, and it might be tweaked depending on what we're doing. So first off, I want to find out what's the current position in the SERPs. Is it position 10 on page 1? Is it position 5? Is it position 2? And we're trying to get it to position 1, etc. So once I have that information, I track it down, I add the keyword in, and then I use Surfer URL. I'll leave a link in the description for you to check out. That's the URL. That's the on-page tool that I use to help with all of my websites and my client websites. Very, very simple to use. And then these are some of the specific checkpoints that I'm looking to optimize on Surfer. So I'm comparing at least 3 competitors. I'm looking at true density, and I'm looking to improve or add at least any phrases or important words that are above 80% in terms of the competition analysis. Do we need to add more words? If so, how many? Is there any other errors that we need to fix? So missing headers, missing alt text, etc. And do we need to add any LSI keywords? Again, this is a bit more on the complicated side, and it's a very simple way of making sure that the keywords on the page are semantically relevant with other keywords on the page. But again, that's part of the checklist that I use. Once we're happy with the details on the on page, then I'm making sure that we have internal links. So at least 2, going from the existing page to the connection page, the supporting page. And then I'm checking Ahrefs. So for example, is the URL, once I add it to Ahrefs, or you can use any SEO tool, is the keywords that's ranking for Ahrefs included in the page? If it is, fantastic. If not, we need to add those in. But more specifically, Google Search Console. So I add the URL into Google Search Console, and I'm checking to see what keywords that particular page is ranking for. And are those keywords, especially the top 5 or top 3, are they included on the page in a prominent way? If they aren't, we definitely need to add those on, because Google Search Console is telling you that the traffic is coming from these keywords, so it's relevant for these keywords, and they see you as important and an authority for those keywords. So you need to add those to your page, right? That it makes a lot of sense in terms of it being simple, but it doesn't always get done. So these are some of the things that we do. Again, we make sure that we use Rank Math as a plugin. It's an on-page SEO plugin, very simple to use, and we want to configure all those posts to make sure it's above 80. So we have a checklist. As everything goes through this checklist, let's say you have 20 URLs that we're doing on-page SEO for that month, then we add every single URL into a card, and then we go through the checklist and we mark it off. Okay, so it does sound a little bit complicated. Really, it's not. This is why we use these templates, so we can pretty much check things off, have things done by other team members, and then we know what's happening as things are progressing, and then I can go ahead and update the progression calendar to myself, to my client, or whoever's seen this project management Trello form. Okay, next, I have a technical site audit card as well. So again, whether it's a new site I've just purchased or if it's a client site that's coming on with my management team, we want to give the site an audit. Okay, so we're going to add it into a SEO tool, and we're going to make sure that there aren't any broken pages, issues with meta descriptions, redirect chain errors, etc. There's loads of small things that happen to sites if you don't monitor and maintain them. Google Search Console usually will give you some data and information on that, but it's always good to put it through a tool. So we have a site audit tool. It usually takes a few weeks to do, and then we clean the site up, essentially make sure that it's supporting and the foundation's correct. Next on the list is the CRO checklist. So that's conversion rate optimization. And here we're essentially trying to increase revenue. So we're trying to figure out what on the affiliate pages, the commercial pages, need to be improved, and how do we improve those. So this is the kind of a checklist that we use internally. And this is what I give to my team and my CRO specific, those experts, to use to optimize the page. So generally, I'll probably add the URL on the top of this card, and then I'll let's say we're doing 10 pages that we're looking to improve CRO for that particular month. Then I'll add these pages in here, and then as the team goes through and they start to optimize and add in or remove certain things from the site to help with CRO, they're going to check it off. So for example, if it's a commercial page, and we should have a comparison table in, which I would recommend. If it has one in, fantastic. If not, then we need to add a comparison table. So if it's an affiliate comparison table, we're going to probably be using AWP as a plugin. Again, I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in that. Does it hide prices on all Amazon buttons? We've done testing to find out if it does hide, but if you hide the price on an Amazon button, usually people kind of click through to check the price, and then you get cookied as an affiliate. So it just helps with conversions. This happens very often. People don't add links to product images, which can again seem a little bit simple, but if you add a link to a product image, people and visitors usually click on images quite frequently. They're used to this through other socials. So if an affiliate link isn't added to a product image, you may miss out on a click, which for one or two is fine. If you're doing it over hundreds of pages over hundreds of days, you're going to miss out on conversions. So we're going to add those in if that's not the case. We're going to make sure that the product titles and headers have got affiliate links in those. Product names as well, we can add those in terms of the anchor text. We're going to add call to action buttons. Usually I like to use red or yellow, and it might say something like check latest price or buy on Amazon, something like that. We're going to configure and optimize buttons and hyperlink text. So again, similar to the above, but we're going to do that for the entire page. And then we're going to, this is something that I do sometimes. It depends on the site we are managing. We add bestseller lists to the bottom of the page. So you can use a plugin tool like AWP and just put in a short code at the bottom of the page. So once the visitor's gone through, they've read it all, they may be interested in just seeing a bestseller list, and then just list that out for them. Pretty cool. Lastly, it doesn't specifically relate to CRO, but I like to just make sure the intro has a small tweak in there so people understand that this is obviously a commercial page, and we're trying to give them information so they can click. So this gets applied again through all of the important CRO pages, so anything commercial related. Sometimes I even add it to an informational page, depending on what the informational page has to offer. So for example, if it's a listicle type page, think about something like best hotels in Amsterdam, right? Something of that nature. Then of course we're gonna need CRO done quite a lot on a page like that, because we want people to click over to hotels pages, rental pages, etc. So that's really important. Now, the next part of the project management template that we use is just some cards for us to track informational keywords and commercial keywords, and also any content gap keywords from your competitors. So we use Ahrefs. When we go through keyword research, we just add those files into this particular card. So myself, my team, any of my clients, they can very quickly see on just by checking the project management tool and this particular area where all the keywords are. And to give you an example of what that looks like, click here. As you can see, it will give the research of the keywords. It will give the keyword itself, country, usually US, any difficulty scores and volume scores, parent keyword, and also global volume. Whether or not we're going to create an article, so just like a yes or no box, tick box, the month that we're looking to create that article, the estimated word count for that particular article, the article URL, and then any notes that I may have on that article for my team or potentially for a client. So we have pretty much all the information you need in terms of creating articles and seeing what's been published onto the site. Super simple to do, but again, I'd recommend it. Next, we have a content audit sheet. So most sites are probably going to have lots of index pages and index posts already that are in the SERPs to get lots of traffic, which is fantastic. But usually you'll find that of those pages, probably 10 to 15% are the ones that get the most visibility, so the most traffic. And then the rest may be too far down the SERPs to get much traffic. So we need to do a content audit to increase the position, increase the visibility, and increase revenue essentially. So we do that with a content audit sheet like this. Once we have created the content audit and added in the URL, it's a pretty simple sheet to use. We add in information in here. We add in some information around Google Analytics here and a sitemap here. Again, we add in links from any of the tools that we're using, so Google Search Console. And then at the end, we're going to have some information on the URL, the page views, the organic sessions, the links, and then a suggested action, usually by myself, or sometimes the tool does it itself. The spreadsheet will kind of generate an action based on the information we've given it. So for example, leave the post as is because it has enough traffic, consolidate it if it needs to be consolidated with a new post, or potentially remove it and delete it. So that all of those functions are included into the sheet, and then once I'm happy with it, I will set a little note to say it's been completed. So I'd certainly recommend doing a content audit, especially if it's a new site you've just purchased. If it's a starter site and it's obviously and you've just starting from the ground up, you probably don't need it. But if it's a existing site and it's got lots of hundreds of pages, even under 100 pages, I'd recommend doing a content audit because you can see very easily what's working and what's not working, and then do some on-page SEO, add some content, do some content refreshes, etc. Even do some add some backlinks to improve your content and your articles. And then as you track that information, you can see what's working and what's not, and then make smart decisions based on that, right? So that's the content audit card. We also have a site speed card. We generally use WP Rocket for site speed, and a few other independent site speed contractors if that doesn't work. But site speed is obviously super important in terms of core web vitals. Next, we have a links audit card. So I go ahead and I go through pretty much all the current links whether it's a new site or a client site, and I just want to get a feel of what the backlink profile looks like. And I may do a links audit to potentially remove some toxic links if I feel like there are some unnatural ones. That's included as well. We have some information here on the first 3 months commercial posts or informational posts, and those will all be added in here. So myself or my team, my clients, can see what's been done and what hasn't been done. And then super important, I have some SOPs. So if I go into this particular card here, I can click over to the SOP. I can see some of the buying guides, the commercial guides, and these are the SOPs that I give to the article writers. And then it's obviously quite in-depth based on what it is we're trying to achieve. And I go through this with the team at the time. And of course, there's different ones for different types of posts. There's informational posts here and there's listicle posts here. You definitely want to have different standard operating procedures, so content guidelines for different types of posts. That's very, very important. And the only thing I haven't got on here that we have added recently is an EEAT card. So that's really important right now. If you haven't got EEAT or EAT correctly done on your website, then you need to do smart things to add expertise, authority, and trust to your site. That's the kind of project management tool that I use. Hopefully you found that super interesting. It is a little bit technical, some of it, but to be honest, I've kind of created this tool for my own sites and my client sites over time, and things have been built up. And it's a really smart place for you to be able to collaborate with your team. One of the most important things in this industry is to be very clear about your strategy, to be very analytical in terms of what's working and what's not. And then be able to delegate, whether that's to yourself or to other members of your team in a structured way. If you can do that and things are clear and efficient, I usually find it helps for your growing the site, for your managing the site, and for also your selling the site. So when you're looking to exit, you've got all this data and this information that you can just very easily give to the acquisition team, right? So that's the end of this video. I'll leave a link in Trello below. It's very, very easy to use. And I think I still use the free program. Maybe I spend like $10 a month or something like that. But very, very reliable and efficient and affordable. Anyhow, I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.